Hey guys, how's it going? I hope that you're doing well. I wanted to just share a quick experience story and tie it to a channeled message that I believe Spirit is bringing along for the collective. To begin, we're in a day and age where technology is the norm, and most of us have grown up in a generation, in a time where technology wasn't the norm, right? We didn't really have phones, we played outside. Communication was you would, ring your friend with the home phone, or if you had a computer, you would chat in the computer. And all of us are in different stages. I am connected with different generations. But I know for Gen Zers, they might not know exactly what I'm talking about because they grew up in a day and age where technology was normalized. It's interesting because as I have gone through this recent experience of actually being phoneless for 30 hours and having this existential crisis of what I was going through internally, mentally, just what I experienced was happening to my health during that time really made me kind of take a step back and realize that things aren't really going to change in terms of the decrease in technology. Technology is always going to be available. It's going to be a part of the society that we're kind of living in, but there are going to be collectives and pockets of the population, the human population, who are going to choose to live in communities where our phones aren't taking over, right? Where we don't need to be obsessed with social media or with all these digital things. We can live in the present moment, we can be outside, we can enjoy fresh air. It's really about returning back to the lay of the land, the way of our ancestors, and how again, we were bonding and communicating and experiencing life by doing things that are part of the environment, part of nature. And although I personally do enjoy social media and its benefits of being able to communicate with people across the globe, for information to be shared in a much more wider scale, we all have more similarities in this life than we did maybe in past lives, when of course technology was unheard of, right? And I'm not talking about necessarily in our youth. I'm talking galactically here, spiritually, our past incarnations on Earth. Some of you that have lived here before, we're used to writing letters, right? And so this is kind of what this energy is about, and this is what's coming up in the collective, is that a lot of people are going to be challenged with different personal things, and it's going to challenge your way of where you're at in your current life, and perhaps going to cause you to take a step back and realize where you need to slow down, be more conscious, more aware, more in tune with your environment, and less in tune with this sort of digital world. And although, again, I want to emphasize, there are two sides to the same coin. So, of course, by virtue of the two sides to the same coin, everyone's going to have benefits to, the digital world, social media, and some may not, and vice versa. You can carry the appreciation and the gratitude for what something brings while also seeing the direction that it can bring people in. So again, two sides of the same coin here with this message, but I wanted to first share that. And it's interesting because Spirit is kind of channeling with me right now. I wasn't intending on coming onto the video and talking about potential experiences that some of you may go through, but that just really flowed out from me. And of course, we're tapping into Earth energy right now, which is easier for me to channel in as well. But the main point here is to just be conscientious and aware of the type of frequency, the reality that you are escaping from, and also what around you has been kind of taking you away from being in the present moment, connecting with where you're at, whom you're around, not being so obsessed with the digital device. The first thing that being phoneless for 30 hours has taught me is to really be more grateful about being able to have a phone, to truly just sit and pause and say, okay, I am grateful for this phone. I'm grateful for the time and energy and money it took to get me to purchase this phone. I'm grateful for the fact that this phone allows me to connect with my loved ones across the world. It allows me to learn about things that are happening across the world. There's so many reasons why we can be grateful for these efficient sort of innovations. But it also taught me about how, again, and I emphasize this message once more, dependent I was on my phone. Make sure that you write everything down. And a lot of people aren't writers. It's just easier to pull out your phone, and I get it. I'm pretty much the same way. But if you can, just have a nice notebook on you, something small that you can write down, or put it in your phone, then go home and write it down later. So that way you have your life, not necessarily dependent and laid out on a digital device. If anything happens, we're not thinking in lack here, but it's just about taking your power in your life back away from a digital device that has completely taken over your routine and your schedule, and putting it back on paper. Make sure that you have someone around you who knows your location and knows where you're at, or who can get a hold of you in case of, an emergency where you don't have anything. Because the worst thing is to be in a position like I was, where you literally don't have anyone that you can kind of call or contact to help you get to the store. I really got to a mental state where I started wondering if my friends took my phone because I hadn't seen them in a long time, and then I was like, why would I get to that mindset about these people? It just taught me a lot about trusting your friends when they say to check the street, but also not getting into such a negative mindset. I mean, that's probably the Capricorn moon in me. Hate to blame my moon sign, but really I think it is, because I got to a mindset where I was just like getting dark about the intentions of people around me, and a lot of that revealed my own inner wounding, things that I still have to work on within myself. So just kind of bringing the message back here, there's a lot to learn from the experiences that we go through, and if there was one thing that I learned from being phoneless for 30 hours, it's that we need to remember how important it is to not be so dependent on technology, to bring ourselves back to the way of the present moment, the lay of the land, and to remember that if we do end up losing anything or something unexpected happens in our life, that it is a call from the universe to pivot and bring ourselves back into a state of gratitude, a state of awareness, and a state of making sure that you are supported, that you have options around you, or a backup plan. Not thinking in lack, but just thinking in a stability mindset, if that is the lesson that you were called to step into in your life and journey anyway. So I hope that this video helped. Super random, and it's getting kind of chilly out here, so I think I'm gonna make myself some tea and cuddle into my nice PJs and go inside. So I send you all so much love, and hopefully we'll talk again soon.